Position open as a night shift cab driver at R Cabs. Work 6 hours a day, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., 6 days a week. Earn $150 a day. For further queries, call 888-888. I called up the number given on the ad. A smooth, high-pitched male voice answered the call. He introduced himself as Dave. Are you nocturnal or have difficulty staying up at night? What's your age? But he also asked me some rather odd questions. Are you an imaginative man? Can you follow a strict list of rules to the T if asked to? Can you keep calm under hazardous conditions and drive safe even when you're speeding? The questions raised some red flags, but I was too blinded by the high amount of pay they were offering. He told me I could start as soon as today. I looked at the clock hanging from the wall. It was 10:12 p.m. I told them I would be there at 12 a.m. sharp. I reached the decided location at 11:58 p.m. It was just a kilometer away from my house, so I didn't bother bringing my car, as Dave said the company will be providing the cabs. At 12 a.m. sharp, a Prius pulled up and parked in front of me. A man wearing all black got out of the car and walked over to me. He greeted me with a warm smile and gave me the keys to the car I was supposed to be driving. It was the Prius. He congratulated me on getting the job. He set up the RCab app on my mobile phone and just before leaving handed me a piece of paper and $150, then said, read this paper as soon as you can. It is a list of rules for you to follow. With this, he turned around and started walking into the night. After I saw him turn the corner, I got into the car, closed the doors, and smoothed out the folded piece of paper and started reading. It read, Hey Felix, this is Dave. Now there is something you should understand. Only you can read the text on this piece of paper, so there is no point in going to the cops or suing us because, frankly, no one would believe you. Keep that in mind. And also, majority of the people you will pick up and drop will not be human. Rule 1. If you get a pickup request from a number with only 6 digits, call them up and politely decline. Do not go within 100 meters of their location for the next 2 hours. Always apologize and make up a reason why you cannot come. The creature doesn't take rude remarks well. Rule 2. Always seat the passengers in the back and check their mirror reflection. If they have a reflection, drop them off to their location and do not ask for money. They will pay as they wish. If they do not have a reflection, take the pistol in the glove compartment and shoot yourself. It will be a marginally painless death compared to what they will do to you. Rule 3. Do not eat anything non-vegetarian in the cab. The smell of meat might capture some creatures' unwanted attention, and believe me when I say, you do not want their attention. Rule 4. If you get a call from a person you know, do not answer the call. It is not them. If you do respond to them, you will hear a deafening screech which has been responsible for bursting eardrums in the past. Rule 5. Do not try to abandon the car on the road, or you will die the most brutal way your brain can imagine. Yes, they can read minds. Rule 6. You cannot give this job up without working here for at least 2 weeks, for the reasons I cannot specify because of the company's policy. Rule 7. If you get dark figures running along the car, speed up and try to ignore them. Do not stop or slow down. If you maintain a speed of 80+ kilometers per hour, they will not be able to catch you. The other option is driving on a busy road. They will perform mock charges and give you illusions that they are gaining on you. But if you're driving fast, just keep driving fast for 3 or 4 more minutes and they will be gone. Rule 8. If you smell the rotten meat in the back seat, do not look behind you. Instead, take the pistol from the glove compartment, close your eyes, turn around, and fire on all 3 back seats. It will be gone. It can't hurt you if you cannot see it. Rule 9. If your engine dies down, do not step out of the car. It is a bait to get you out. Wait for 20 to 30 minutes and the car should start right back up. Rule 10. Do not dial anyone. They will not pick up. Calling for help also annoys the creatures after you. Your most beloved person might die of natural causes just the next day if you try to reach out to people who will not be picking up because their phones won't even be ringing. Rule 11. At 6 a.m., bring this car to your house, leave the key in, and walk back inside your home. The car will disappear in an hour or so and will be right back there the next night at 12 a.m. I chuckled at the stupid list. Scary prank on the new guy, huh? I whispered under my breath and started driving. After just 5 to 10 minutes, my mom started calling. Just before I could pick it up, I froze with fear. I could smell the scent of rotting meat. I slowly opened the glove compartment, took out the pistol, closed my eyes, then turned around and shot 6 rounds, 2 bullets at each seat. I heard a loud shriek. After about 5 seconds, I opened my eyes to see that the seats were empty, but one of the windows was open and there was some blood on the left seat. I cleaned it up with a towel, kept in the glove compartment, and started driving. I got a request. It was a regular number. I started driving towards its location. The passenger was a girl. She got in the back seat and I started driving. I slowly tilted the rearview mirror, hoping and praying that she had a reflection. Luckily she did. We eventually reached her destination, which was on a farm on the outskirts of town. She tipped $10, got out of the car, and climbed up one of the farm's walls with ease. I sat there in the car, shocked. Eventually, the bleating of goats and the sound of flesh tearing broke me out of my trance, and I started driving away. After half an hour of contemplating what I had just witnessed, I received another request. I checked its location. It was as if my heart just stopped beating. When I saw the passenger's number, it only had 6 digits and was just 87 meters away from me. I started my car back up and started driving. It was gaining on me. I started panicking. It was only 50 meters away from me. I could now feel the ground shaking footsteps and low-pitched growls. I sped up to nearly 100 kilometers per hour and noticed that I was successfully moving away from it. I was 92 meters away from it when I noticed them, the dark figures. They were running alongside my car. I almost swerved off the road and into a wall 2 times, but I kept my cool and tried my best to ignore them. The figures, which looked like shadows of a human just a minute ago, distorted into demonic shadows within seconds. Walls around me started to bleed. I somehow maintained a consistent speed of nearly 100 kilometers per hour without crashing, and after a short, intense change, everything was suddenly back to normal. I was beginning to think I had lost my mind. I wanted to call my mother, but with everything that had happened up till that point in time, I did not want to break a rule. Then I remembered. I had to make a call to the passenger and apologize, and that's what I did. It sounded like a charismatic young over the phone, but I knew better. After this whole ordeal was over, it was just 4 a.m. The next 2 hours passed by pretty normally. I picked up 3 more passengers, but they seemed normal. I did exactly what Dave told me to do, parked the car outside my house and went to sleep. I woke up at 9 a.m. and gave my mother the $150. She was really happy. I knew if I told her what had actually gone down, she would not believe me. So I'm sitting here typing this at 10 p.m. I do not want to go back to that car again, but I have no option and no one will believe me. If I die, here lies my story. If I make it through this night, I will be grateful to God. I just wanted to know, has anybody else gotten this job offer from our cabs? The McDonald's was located a bit on the outskirts of town, probably for travelers, but I didn't mind as long as I was getting paid. And it being isolated also meant there would be comparatively fewer customers, so I might even get a chance to squeeze in another hour of sleep. I got into my dad's car and went to the store. It looked pretty dreary. The outside walls had a bit of mold on them. I entered the small building to be greeted by a middle-aged man standing behind the counter. He greeted me with a smile and a nod of acknowledgement. He took me down to the drive-thru booth where I would be receiving orders and explained how everything worked. The ice cream machines, the soft drink dispensers, and the fryers. After he had given a quick tour of the building, he brought me back to the counter, took a deep breath, and said, "Hey kid, do you believe in ghosts and stuff?" "No, but why do you ask?" I inquired. "I know I'm going to sound absolutely insane for this, but you'll have to follow some rules while working here. Now, I know all of them sound unbelievable, but trust me, they are as real as it gets. They could even cost you your life." I looked at him puzzled. "What are the rules, and has anyone been hurt or something?" I said. He pulled out his phone. He had multiple photos of teenagers who formerly worked here, but apparently ignored the rules and have gone missing since. "Why don't you go to the cops?" I asked him interrogatively. "Because no one believes me," he said, his voice getting shaky. "They conduct a full area search. They think I'm insane." He almost burst into tears, but composed himself and begged me to follow the rules and take them seriously. I said that I would, and his face lit up. He handed me the list of rules, thanked me, and left. I reluctantly smoothed out the piece of paper and started reading. List of rules for to survive a night. Rule 1. Keep the lights on the drive-thru counter, where you'll hand customer the food, on at all times, with an exception to Rule 5. There's a creature just lurking nearby, waiting for the lights to go out and letting your guard down. Rule 2. There are security cameras next to the counter table. Always check who is in the drive-thru. If the person ordering is in a black Range Rover Evoque with tinted windows, do not speak a word to him. He will stop bothering you if you ignore his angry threats and drive away in a few minutes. If you speak to him, however, he's going to break into your booth and attack you like a wild animal. God knows what entity he is that can mimic a human voice so perfectly. Rule 3. If someone orders fries, tell them you're all out, because you do not want to open a bag of frozen fries at midnight. Trust me, the scent will attract unwanted attention and it'll end well for no one. Rule 4. If you hear your name being called from behind you, stop everything you're doing, lay down, and close your eyes. You might feel teeth on your limbs or giant talons rubbing against your head or torso, but please do not move. It'll be gone after you hear a demonic giggling. Rule 5. If you see a 5-year-old girl with no eyes standing in the driveway looking directly at the camera, lock all the doors and windows and close all the lights. You might hear screaming, roaring, and screeching from the outside. Once it's been a minute since the sounds have ceased, turn the lights back on and continue with your job. Rule 6. If you hear people in the main dining area, do not check that out. No one is there since the place will be locked. It's just another distraction by the creature lurking nearby. Rule 7. If the lights go out by themselves, chop off a toe or a finger and place it on the drive-thru counter and duck behind it. You'll hear low growls followed by a quick snatching sound. Get up once the lights are back and check the counter. If your finger or toe is missing, congratulations. You're gonna live to see another day. If the finger or toe is still there, just pray to God it kills you quickly and doesn't take its time cherishing your screams. Rule 8. It is advised you do not sleep because then you can miss your name being called or the 5-year-old girl or the laughing and talking sounds of people in the dining area, which can cost you your life. I was puzzled. If this was a joke, it was a terrible one, I thought to myself, just before noticing movement in one of the bushes in the drive-thru. You know how you think you can be brave and fight through the fear during a fight or flight situation? Well, nope. Your body actually seizes up when facing the fear head-on without a warning. Somewhere in my heart, I believe that this list was fake, or an elaborate prank, but I didn't want to take any chances, so I decided to comply to the rules. For the first hour of the night, literally nothing paranormal happened. I didn't even get a customer till then. This will be easy, I sighed and thought to myself. Flipping through the cameras every 20 minutes, I almost didn't notice the little girl peeking through a bush. Her eye sockets were devoid of eyes. I looked at them and they seemed void of any human emotion. They were evil in a way. The more I looked in them, the more I wanted to cry. I was so fixated I almost forgot to switch the lights off, but remembered Rule 5. I got under the counter after switching off the lights. I heard something slam against the left wall of the booth, like something big had lashed out and tried to break through the wall. Then I heard quick footsteps, followed by the cries of a little girl. The cries kept on increasing in intensity, to the point where I thought I would actually go deaf. I covered my ears, but could obviously still hear her cries. The cries ceased within 30 minutes, and I heard a low growl. The growl was followed by the sounds of roaring and slashing of meat. The sounds were so disgusting that I threw up all over the floor. After collecting myself mentally, then got up and turned the lights back on. I cleaned the puke and contemplated what I had just been through. Before I was even finished thinking about this, I heard people talking. The noise was very distant. I couldn't make out any words, just laughs, giggles, and overlapping voices. The night was eerily silent, so I could hear every little thing that went bump in the night. I was just about to go check it out when I remembered some rules regarding this specific event. I reread the list and found it. It was Rule 6. I had to just ignore it and it'd go away. And so I did. I put on my earphones and started with some schoolwork. Almost 1 hour passed. Nothing happened. When finally a customer came through the drive-thru, I served them and was happy that there were actually people starting to come now. I saw another car pulling up. I was really happy now. I wasn't alone in this hellhole any longer. My good mood was immediately put off when I saw it was a black Range Rover with tinted windows. I didn't speak to the angry man on the other side. He screamed his order, then said, "I know you're in there! Are you deaf, motherfucker?" I didn't reply and kept my cool. 10 minutes later, it was gone. My shift is over. Now I'm sitting here typing this, contemplating if this job is really worth $200 a day or not. I wanted to quit, but the guy begged me not to, and that he would double my pay since I was so good at it. But I don't want to risk my life again. I went inside and sat down. There were only 5 other people on the plane with me. After I sat down, the air hostess presented us with a typical airplane safety demonstration video. I didn't pay any attention to it. Just before the takeoff, I picked up the airplane rules booklet because I was just bored. I opened it, and inside there was something scribbled in a hurry on a piece of paper. It was a list of rules. It read, Whoever is reading this needs to know that this plane and perhaps this whole airline is something ungodly and supernatural. If you made the mistake of boarding the plane, you're gonna have a rough flight. If you want to survive, please follow these rules. Rule 1. If you check your phone or watch right now, you'll see the time read 1 a.m. no matter when you boarded this flight. Do not panic and do not ask about it to anyone on the plane. They're not human. I checked the time. It read 1 a.m. I was convinced the rules were true since I reached the airport at 2:15 a.m. I continued. Rule 2. If you see light coming from outside the airplane window, put the covers on the window or the light will go so bright you might lose your vision. Literally, not metaphorically. Rule 3. If the air hostess asks if you want to eat something, politely decline. She might get too restless if you do not eat any food, but she can't hurt you. She'll also attack you if you act rude to her, so be polite. Rule 4. If you hear someone call your name, the voice might even be familiar. Don't turn around. You might hear sniffing behind you or something scratching your seat. It's best you don't look at it. Looking at it might cause it to attack you. If you look behind when it is present, just pray it kills you in one swift blow. When the sniffing stops, it'll be gone. Rule 5. At 2:30 a.m., you'll see two passengers fighting with each other. It'll be something very petty. Get involved and resolve the fight. Not following this rule won't cost you your life, but only do it if you have a strong stomach, as they will turn into hellish creature and fight to the death. They won't harm you, but there will be a severe turbulence in the smell of rancid meat the whole flight. Rule 6. Do not go to the bathroom during the entire time you're in this plane. Just don't. God knows what kind of creatures lurk inside. There's a reason why the airplane will try to get you to eat and drink more. Rule 7. No matter how fast or slow a regular flight would get you to your destination, this flight will always take 7 hours. You'll reach your destination on 8 a.m. sharp. If you reach before that, I'm sorry for you. You'll end up in a world where you'll be the only human. You'll either die of starvation or simply lose your mind because of the loneliness. Rule 8. Keep checking to see if all the passengers are still on the plane every hour or so. If even one is missing, tell the air hostess. She'll take care of it. If someone is missing for more than 1.5 hours without you noticing, you'll pass out, then wake up falling from the sky without any gear. Long story short, you'll fall to your death in the most brutal way possible. Rule 9. At 5 a.m., go and lock the bathroom door without anyone noticing. The creatures inside will try to come out. If the door is locked, they won't be able to. If someone notices you locking the door, you'll be as good as dead. Rule 10. At 6 a.m., you'll experience paralysis. You'll see creatures in your peripheral vision. They'll try to scare you. Close your eyes if you have to, because if you're scared, they'll tear you apart quite literally. It'll be a slow, painful death. They can sense fear, so if you distract yourself, you'll survive. This is the hardest rule to follow, as it'll be their last-ditch effort to kill you. Rule 11. Once you get off the plane, take your luggage and book it outside the airport. Don't look face the opposite direction. Then after 30 seconds, look back. If it's gone, so is the curse. If it isn't, try to run, although you'll not be able to outrun the creatures chasing you. I survived to give you this list of rules. Please make sure you never fly with the Vulture Airlines again and warn others about it. I chuckled at the stupid list until I heard my father's voice behind me, calling my name. 1. Do not look down. If you can't tell which way the ground is, close your eyes and relax. Your body will naturally orient upwards. You won't die if you look down, but you will be terrified by what you see and have an adrenaline rush. You don't need adrenaline, you need to focus. 2. Pull the 3 rings on the right side of the parachute to release the backup chute. It will not release. This is normal. 3. Prepare for impact. Fields and trees are good places to land. Avoid water at all costs. Even if you don't die from the impact, the seaweed will pull you down under. 4. Stay awake. You probably feel exhausted now that you hit the ground. It might have felt like a soft landing, but you're in shock. You will die if you fall asleep. If you stay alive long enough, you will start to hurt. That is a sign that you are coming out of shock and that you might survive. Ignore the pain. 5. The people in the distance are not here to rescue you. You probably see people in the distance. When they start walking towards you, show no signs of life. They will tell you that they were sent to rescue you. Resist the urge to accept their help. From here, one of 2 things will happen. If they leave, go to 6. If they pick you up and carry you off, go to 5A. 5A. Continue to show no signs of life. You must have moved a muscle. They will kill you if you try to escape, now that you are in their grasp. You want to show them that you are not a threat. 5B. They will take you deep into the forest. Once they put you down, answer all of their questions falsely. These are the type of people you do not want to have your personal information. I hope you're a good liar. If they believe you, they will ask you for a gift. I recommend offering multiple non-vital organs. They will take them. Do not complain about the lack of sedation. If you told them the truth about who you are, they will come for more once you return home. Run off when they aren't looking. They won't chase you. They've already gotten what they wanted. If you run far enough in any direction, you will find society. 6. Once the people leave, wait at least half an hour before moving again. Eventually, people who look the same as the ones who just left will come to you. These are not the same people. You can go with them. They will lead you to safety.